and welcome to the Gussets and Go Days podcast, episode 21. My name is Christina and this is my podcast about my knitting, stitching and crafting. Well, we're at the end of July now and I've just had quite a heat wave over the last, the last few weeks have been really warm, and today it's lovely and cloudy and a little bit rainy, so it's perfect podcasting weather. So I thought I would jump on and show you what I've been making. To start, I'll show you my the outfit I'm wearing actually. So a few years ago my friend got married and I wanted to make something really special. As I've mentioned before, I work in a department store, so there are many beautiful brands that I could frankly never afford. So I loved Dolce & Gabbana and I loved the lemon print that they came out with that summer. So I ordered some fabric online. When it arrived though, it wasn't quite right. So I painted all the fabric because the leaves originally came yellow and the lemons had, they were so pale. Although it was an almost highlighter yellow, half of it you couldn't see and the other half was too bright. So I painted the entire fabric and then made this dress. It's just got little straps. Ordered the buttons and I was so proud of it. And then hopefully you can see that I then beaded just across one side, and on the top of the bodice I painted all the flowers in quite a lot of detail. I then did not paint the flowers on the gathered skirt, so anywhere where it was visible through the top I painted. Anyway, that is not a new make at all, but I just thought I would show it to you. I didn't use a pattern, I self-drafted that, but I'm sure there are many simple little bodices that you can add straps to if you were interested in doing something similar. But it was my absolute pride and joy. There is a zip in the back, it's the same in the back as it is in the front, just a straight neckline. And the button placket, they're not working buttons, just because I often would get gaping in the bust, so it's a fake button placket. And anyway, I was just super proud of it, so maybe I've even shared it on the podcast before, I don't know. But I'm wearing that today, even though it's rainy. Never mind. Oh, this one, it's just finished. Actually, it's not just finished, I've been wearing it for a little while. So it's from the Gertie Sews Jiffy dresses. I was really excited when this came out and there's quite a few pieces in there that I would like to give a go. This is the Swirl dress. That's Gertie. There she's done it in a border print. And then each dress does tend to have kind of two options. So there's the back, so it just crosses over in the back. But for me it was the plaid, which I really liked, so I went with a gingham, which incidentally, this was my primary school's gingham colour. I don't know about other countries, but in the UK a lot of schools have got little shirt dresses with full skirts, buttoned down in gingham. I don't know why, but it's so adorable, and these were my colours, so that was an intentional purchase. I have a very soft spot for a green gingham, and all different schools have different ones, and sometimes they have matching hair scrunchies or socks, like little white socks, and then there's like a binding around the ruffle or something. Anyway, so I had totally a soft spot for the green gingham. So I made the US 10, I'm a UK 14, so size was fine. I did a full bust adjustment, which was completely worth it. Go a little bit brighter. Ooh. Oh dear, maybe. Okay, so it was really easy to make. Other than the full bust adjustment, I lowered the armhole else did I do? I top stitched across here because I found that the facing kept wanting to pop open, so I did that. And then the kind of the after alteration, which I did, was I added a panel, which you can't see, through here, which is, I would say, 5 inches wide, and I just top stitched it in, and I did print match that one. And the reason that I did that is to not flash knickers. So yeah, I was really proud of this make. It was really, really easy and quick to make. It was really fun. I don't know what else I can say. I added the pocket afterwards so that I could put my my phone in there, and it's unlined, so that made it very speedy. And the only place I did match the print was, because there is a bodice and a skirt, I matched the stripe going down. That's the only place that I considered print matching. The rest I just threw caution. Caution to the wind. It is a little bit creased because I was wearing it for work. And I've worn it quite a few times. I didn't know whether I would be able to wear prints. Which I'm struggling. Am I struggling with focus? I don't know. You would know, and I can't ask you. But they have relaxed the black clothing. They've got rid of the black clothing rule now, so you can wear what you want, like within reason. So, you know, this is work appropriate now. Anyway, let me get rid of the brightness. That was a really bad idea. Okay. I know, I don't use an editing program, you see. I just kind of glue things together in a very haphazard way in a phone software. So all that will remain in. Anyway, I would really recommend making this. It is not a very structured garment. So as you move about, it doesn't all stay like perfectly still, which may, I imagine, bother some people. I'm not sure. It doesn't bother me, and I think originally this style, as it's based on a vintage style, would have been a house dress, so it was made to be comfortable and easy to wear, and it didn't need to be incredibly structured, so yay. I also do wear a slip underneath it, just in case you're wondering, although I don't have to. It's not a sheer fabric. I got the fabric, it's 100% cotton gingham, it's not printed. It's a woven one where the warp and the weft threads are different colours. I know you can also get a printed gingham where the back is plain and they've printed on the front. But I do prefer the woven. I got it in a shop called, I think it's Classic Textiles on the Goldhawk Road, because that's my favourite shop, so lots of my fabrics are from there. Yep, okay, I'm gonna, my other project is my quilt. I've been working so hard on this quilt and I thought I was done. I did 20 blocks, all of the same window, open window variation block, and I've started sashing them together. And then I realised, I laid it on my bed and I realised it's just not quite long or wide enough. I just need one more row, I think. So the side I thought was going to be the length of the bed will now be the width. And that's fine, but that means I need 5 more. So instead of 20 blocks, there will be 25. And I was so excited to stash these together, and I took some photos of my layout and I laid it all out on the floor and I was playing Tetris. So annoying. But never mind, it needs to be right, and there's going to be nothing worse than putting all that effort in and it's 5 blocks missing. Like it's 1 row too short. And now we have quite a small bed. We have like a vintage size double, which is 4 foot. So a standard double now in the UK is 4'6", I believe. So if we were then to change our bed to a slightly bigger bed, obviously if we changed it to something huge, that wouldn't work anyway. But if we did go for that slightly larger size, it would just be, you just couldn't use it on top of that. So just thinking about you know, the longevity of the project, and if you were going to fit 2 people under it, it's not enough. I mean, this would be more than enough for me. More than enough for me, but not quite enough for the other person on the other side, on his side. Yeah. But I'm really happy with how it's come together. I really love all the colours that I used. I love the mixture of the kind of the ditzy florals with the brighter colours. I love the kind of 50s feel of it, the mints and the nudie pinks, and I think it's just so pretty. It has been a great lesson in accuracy, which is one area that sometimes I struggle in. In the beginning of a project, I am always super accurate, and then as it gets towards the end, I can often be a little bit slapdash. So, yay! I have put this down over the last few weeks after I realised I was missing some. I think I kind of lost a little bit of my drive. There we go, drive. Anyway, so I will sit down and do that. I just need to work out some colour combinations. That was where I struggled the most. So I really struggled with selecting the colours that would go together, and then where to place those blocks in the grand scheme of the quilt. So now that I've blocked the rows, I'm a little bit more limited as to where I can place them in the quilt, so they will go along one end. I could play a little bit with it, but I don't want really to be unpicking all my sashing and redoing that, because that's all been done really beautifully. I managed to do it so that all my points haven't been cut off, and it's all been it's exactly as it needs to be. The tutorial I followed to do that block was by Amanda Rolfe. Her channel is fantastic for quilting. She shows lots of different blocks. That's from the open window variation block is from a tutorial to make for a quilt along, and there were lots of different blocks that she used, and that was the middle block, and I fell in love with that one. So I just wanted to repeat the one block. I have already made a quilt that had multiples of different styles in one quilt, and as much as I love it, I just wanted something that was a little bit more symmetrical and that kind of repeated pattern. I do quite like order in a print, and then having the fabric choices being the element that is more random. So yeah, all the fabric was from Abakhan fabrics. They're all quilting cottons. I haven't pre-washed any of the fabric that I've used. Just trying to think of any information. I've stitched it all instead of on my oh, not that way, that way. Instead of on my industrial machine, I used a domestic machine, which I got an overlocker and a domestic sewing machine. The domestic one was mainly so I could do buttonholes and zigzag stitches. So I used that one just to kind of get to grips with how it works, and it's a very, very different machine, a domestic versus an industrial machine. So that was something to just kind of get a handle on, and something new for me. But I've really enjoyed working on it. The model is the the decor computer Janome DC3050, and it's a really great machine. I was told that it had a strong motor, and that machines that are for decor purposes do tend to have stronger motors than ones that are for garment making, because the fabrics are much thicker for decor, so like curtains, quilts or curtains, that kind of thing, so things for home. I'm really proud of that. So those are the projects I've been working on. I've got one knitting project that I'd like to show you. So I was using yarn from Beehive Yarns. It's the Raven Red. Raven Red, dusty base, 80% superwash merino, 10% nylon and 10% cashmere. It's a really, really beautiful, very luscious, quite a spongy yarn, and from it I have made the Honey Bop cardigan. I thought maybe I should put it on actually. Yeah, let's put it on. It's designed by Amy Appel of the Poison Grrls. I love all the things that she makes do tend to have quite a vintage flair, and I really, really love that. She does now often offer a puffed sleeve and a plain sleeve for a flat sleeve head. So it's a little v-neck. I did block it already, and I blocked the puffs flat, so they are currently slightly ridiculous, but I will probably just dampen it and put it on my mannequin so that it dries flatter. But yeah, it's just a super simple cardigan. I've gone much longer than I would if I was going to wear it with full skirts, but I wanted to wear it with separates, so in the autumn and winter. It's plain in the back, all stockinette. Then you've just got the ribbing on the cuffs and the hem, and then it's a slightly rounded v-neck. I made a size medium, which usually I make from her patterns a large, but the this pattern called for just had a different sizing, so I made the size that it suggested from my measurements. I'm really happy with it. I would usually go with the flat sleeve head, I must say, because I feel that it's more flattering when you're broad. But after making the, what was the last one I made? The one from Fabel Knitwear, the Forestberry cardigan, that had a puff sleeve, and I really, really like the puff sleeve on that, so I thought I'll try it on this one as well. I think once I've just kind of reblocked that tiny little crease out, I'll be happier with it. But yeah, I'm super happy with this cardigan. It is exactly as I had hoped, and it's really, really simple, and that's the kind of cardigan that I think is just going to be really, really handy to have. The buttons are a mother of pearl button that I got from Abakhan fabric in Shrewsbury, and it's been painted with an enamel paint, so you can still see the shine of the mother of pearl, but the colour is a perfect match. It's coming up quite well, the colour now, on the screen. On previous weeks where I've tried to show, have I tried to show this before? I think I've shown the yarn before. It just came up such a bright colour, but as you can see, I mean, this is a classic true red, and it is a little bit deeper, so I will keep this for the autumn, and I think I need a little blouse to go under it, and then I'm going to make these trousers in a grey wool. They are Simplicity 8243. I mean, they're just super cool. So high-waisted, not super wide leg, quite straight. So I think those will be really handy to have. So I just need to photograph this now. There is a cal going on at the moment, and you've got to get your pictures posted on the Ravelry group. So that's not a problem. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm just going to wait until maybe the end of August to make them, because sometimes my weight fluctuates season to season. Sometimes my weight fluctuates season to season, so I don't want to make something in the summer which then won't fit me in the autumn. So I will make it. It's not going to be a difficult make. I might make the toile actually. I might make the practice version in a cheap fabric just to check the fit, and I'm definitely going to do them in a menswear style with a good amount of seam allowance in the centre back, and then I believe that you line the front portion from the waist to the knee with a lining. I think of what else they do. I will have a good look at a couple of men's trousers from some of the more old-fashioned style brands that I work with, because there are a few brands that still do the very classic techniques when they make their trousers, so I'll have a look at those. I've also got a holiday coming up, and I really want to make a few little dresses, but I don't want to just make things frivolously. So I have a skirt that I used to love, and I made a little crop top with it, but the top was too cropped, so I'm going to replace the top and replace the waistband of the skirt because it's a little bit too small. It was in fact too small when I made it, and I've got enough fabric. So by doing that, I will have not really a new outfit, but I'll have something that I haven't worn in quite a long time, and I will have rejuvenated the outfit. And then I would like to make a linen dress from a navy linen that I have, and I have got a top where the collar is the same linen, and then the top is a gingham in navy and white. So I would like to try and incorporate new pieces which go with things that I already have, or update things that I already have. I don't want to just make new things willy-nilly. So if something needs to be replaced because it's too small, or because it's damaged, or because I don't wear it anymore, I would like to replace that space in my wardrobe, and not just fill up my wardrobe with too much that I then don't ever wear. I hope that makes sense. Also, I'm going on the holiday with a very good friend of mine, Ivana, and Gita actually as well, and they both love to take photos. So our holiday is going to be eating pasta, eating ice cream, and taking photos of the outfits that we make. So it's like the perfect, like slightly odd Instagram holiday. Anyway, that's not for some time. I've got a couple of little bits and bobs that I'm happy and excited to start working on. I'm feeling the itch to work on some socks. So hopefully the next time I speak with you, I will have a couple of little bits cast on. I'm not feeling in the mood to do big projects actually. I guess it's been the heat. I want to have like little project bags with just some little handy projects where you can dip in and out more easily. I find with a garment you really do need to concentrate, and because I don't take very good notes, especially with my sewing. With my knitting I'm better at taking notes, but with my sewing I really do need to start and finish a project all in one go, or within a short period of time. I can't start other things in the meantime because it just doesn't work for me. So I'm going to leave you now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. I'm Christina, this is the Gussets and Go Days podcast. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry, and both under Gussets and Go Days, and I've been so happy to speak to you. It's been really great to catch up, and see you soon. Bye guys.